Hello guys, so GPT-5 model is out and it is in Cursor and I tried it out myself. To get it, just restart Cursor and it will appear in the list of models, GPT-5 here. And I have a specific task which I did try in the past with Cursor, Sonnet and Claude Code Sonnet, which is optimizing performance issue where it's not clear where that issue comes from. So it's kind of a task for thinking. So this is the homepage, which for some reason loads for 1 second, although it doesn't have anything here. This is a Laravel and Filament project, but in this case it doesn't load anything from Filament, only one database query. So something is fundamentally wrong here, but I don't know what exactly. In fact, I do know the answer by now. And first you will see the part of older video where I do that with Claude Code, which provides various options to me and make me choose what to do next. And in Cursor we open that project and we hit Claude, and this will be my prompt. Quite a heavy one with 3 paragraphs because I want to give enough context what I investigated already. And let's see how Claude will help and what would be the process. So to-do list, and what was like 1 minute or something, even less than that probably, it provides the answers. So critical issues, blade icon packages. This is the list of packages for icons loaded in that project, and then also other potential things with database caching, debug mode, and auto-loaded helper files. And this is the case where so-called vibe coding wouldn't work because you still need to understand those technical terms to even choose what to do next. So from my practice, I know that debug mode app debug true doesn't load the page that much, so it wouldn't cause that problems. Autoloaded helper files also shouldn't be that significant because it's 3 helper files, so shouldn't be the problem. Database caching, since on the homepage it's only 1 query, I think this is a false positive. So let's focus on those icon packages and then we can continue prompting Claude for potential fix. I actually don't know what to remove, which icon packages, but I do know that for icons you can cache it somehow, but I don't remember the exact syntax. So then I prompt, I think the solution 1 with icon packages, but I don't want to remove anything. Can we cache icons? So basically you're engaging in a dialogue with Claude Code agent, and then it may or may not change the code. So update to-dos, another to-do list, thinking, okay. So this is the end, and it says that the problem has been solved. So it ran PHP Artisan icons cache and filament optimize because I approved all PHP Artisan commands. And let's test the homepage if it was the solution. We refresh, and yeah, as you can see, 300 milliseconds instead of 1.5 seconds. So it's even faster now with more caching, up to 100 milliseconds. So Claude Code did the job in a few minutes, pointing me in the right direction, but I still had to be involved and choose the options and basically know what I'm doing. And this was with Sonnet model. Of course, I know the comparison is not really apples to apples because we need to compare GPT-5 maybe to Opus model, to Thinking model, or O3 model, but I don't have access to them. I'm using just Pro plan on Anthropic, which gives me just Claude Sonnet option access. Still, how did GPT-5 perform on this task? The prompt is similar, I rephrased it in a different words, sequence, but it's the same. The meaning is the same. And GPT-5 was analyzing the code, scanning everything, reading all the files. As you can see, thought for 26 seconds, then thought for 37 seconds, then 20 more seconds, 24 more seconds. And here's the first actionable thing, SVG icons, which gets us closer to the answer, right? But now it went deeper. So it grabbed the code for icons for SVG, which icons are actually used in the code. Then also thought for a minute, then thought for a minute and 12 seconds. Then it reads more files, reads the caching, and then actionable item, disable blade icon components. So this is the change in the code, which is exactly what I needed to do. So it did it for me without me choosing what to do. so I didn't have to be technical even to approve this change. But that's not all, it went even deeper. More changes here related to observers. And this is interesting. I didn't ask for this change, but it detected, according to my guidelines cursor rules, that I prefer Laravel 11 syntax of observers. It has nothing to do with optimization, it's just new syntax, but it kind of did it along the way. I'm not sure what to think about it. Probably I would have a separate task for that. But anyway, it goes on to double check icons again, and then the next change is cache. So it changes cache store from database to file, which may be the reason of performance issue, but not necessarily. And then it goes removing the blade icon libraries, which was the actual reason for the slow performance. And in this case, I enabled so-called YOLO mode, so I didn't even confirm that. This is a very risky thing to do. This is why I didn't approve composer remove, and I'm not sure if it will affect the project, but it did composer remove, and I need to trust that it actually grabbed the code, checking that those icons were unused. Then it cleared the cache to test it all, thought for 20 more seconds, provided the thinking process what was the reason, multiple huge blade icon libraries on every request. So what it did actually replaced the emoji icon reference to the icon from filament, and I will show you that in a minute. And this is the list of changes. Disabled true in the config, then remove the libraries, and then what I told you, replace the icon of blade icons to default icon inside of filament, which doesn't load external libraries. Also, as I said, along the way moved PHP attributes and changed the cache driver, which I don't actually approve, but we'll refresh the page in a second and see whether it worked. This is the explanation. What to do next, just reload the homepage. Additionally, optionally, you can cache stuff, and there's a summary. Now, all that prompt with everything was one shot, but it took 20 minutes compared to just a few minutes on Cloud Code on Sonnet. But in that case, I needed to be more hands-on to choose the option. So this is kind of comparison not only of GPT-5 versus other models, but also thinking model versus non-thinking model in terms of speed and accuracy of the result. Now, if I refresh the page, as expected, it loads much quicker, 200 milliseconds. Now even quicker, 100, 100, 100. With every request, it seems to be quicker, but then it stops at roughly 130 milliseconds. But basically, optimization is done correctly, successfully. The same result as Cloud Code did with Sonnet 4 model. And now let's talk about the pricing. Cursor now has some information of how much tokens were used, so 11% of context window, as I understand. And if we take a look at my Cursor dashboard, how much I would have paid for that request. For now, they released GPT-5 for free. I'm not sure what is the arrangement with OpenAI. Of course, it is temporary, and of course, it will be not free quite soon, I guess. But from the dashboard, it says that API cost is 71 cents. But this is actually for 2 requests to GPT-5. Let me zoom in. I tried one yesterday, very simple one with 100k tokens, and now for this request, it had used 1.2 million tokens. So I would guess that request would roughly be 60 to 65 cents. Is it a lot or not a lot? It depends on how you calculate. But we can compare the pricing of API in general, at least for now. It's subject to change as always, but GPT-5 standard pricing per million tokens is 125 for input and 10 for output. Compare that to Anthropic prices. It's cheaper than even Claude Sonnet 4, if I understand correctly. Maybe I'm comparing it incorrectly, not sure, shoot in the comments below. But Sonnet 4, $3 and $15 respectively, and Opus is even much more expensive. So my takeaway from here is that potentially with GPT-5, we have thinking model with good quality with a price cheaper than Claude Sonnet API. Is that correct? Not sure. I'm gonna play with GPT-5 more for various tasks, and I will report on this channel, so subscribe to not miss any news. And also, speaking about news, I have a newsletter sending every Wednesday, so to not miss any of the industry news and my videos, go to Substack and subscribe for free. The link will be in the description below. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.